Hello. Today I'm doing the mid-tournament kind of follow-up to yesterday, talking about what happened in the 2v2s, well, I guess technically earlier today, and then go on into my predictions for tomorrow in the 1v1s based on what I saw today in the 2v2s, as well as just my general predictions regarding things. Pools are up, so I kind of talk about that a little bit more. But before I get into the 1v1s of things, let's get on into the 2v2s. Let me go ahead and do, boop, wait, nope, wrong button. Wrong side, wrong side. Bam, look at that. It's now you don't see tabs at the top. But either way, top 12, I'm not overly surprised. I kind of said essentially these things, that Addy Mystic Cake, Dobrain Daiku, Boomy Remy, Egg Soup Noel would be coming out winner's side. Loser's side, again, I kind of shouted out a lot of these people. I don't think I gave enough credit to Stickia and Daz. They played incredibly well, and you can see their results and made them in the top 8. Didn't give enough credit to Machete and Lazar Spinola. I don't know. The casters had a lot of trouble saying it, and so I'm struggling now to imagine it. But yeah, I don't think I gave enough credit to some of these other teams, but definitely not overly surprised to see them make it all the way to the top 12. Definitely want to give them props. I don't think I said enough. But yeah, going on into the upper side of the bracket, I 100% did not predict that Dobrain and Daiku would have beaten out Addy Mystic and Cake. I really thought Addy Mystic and Cake were going to be here in the winners finals and then would have gone down here. And I think this is where we would have seen Axo and Viper beat out Addy Mystic and Cake, and then Axo Viper up here in the winners. I definitely expected Axo and Viper to win out in this matchup against Addy Mystic and Cake. I know it shows 3-2. I know it was a very tense set. But at the end of the day, for some reason, once Viper and Axo, or once Viper's in the lower bracket, he absolutely destroys. He did the exact same thing with Ariel. You're seeing it again here at Valencia, that he played incredibly well in twos. He should definitely be proud of himself. I know they didn't take home the W in the 2v2s, but again, it's going up against Boomy and Remy. They are the most consistent winning team across NA, across lands. Like it is Boomy and Remy, and you can never discount them or expect them to lose, because they're just a really strong 2v2 team. But we'll get back to that. I think I do want to say Egg Soup and Noel played incredibly well. I didn't know how well they were going to play this weekend. Noel, always a strong contender. Definitely, he was one of the most consistent back in 2017. It's one of those things that a lot of us commentators were saying consistently is Noel he's just been a top 3 finisher through and through. You didn't quite see that as much in twos, and when you did, it was alongside Blood Diamond. So going over with Egg Soup, it was kind of a toss-up on how well they were going to play. But if you watch the set, you'll know that Egg Soup played incredibly well. He had some very good stuff in his scythe play. There were times where he kind of fell short, especially when you see him go into the lower bracket. He had the 0-3 against Axo and Viper, but it's against Axo Viper. So maybe not the worst 0-3 in the world, but I just want to say Egg Soup, I was not expecting the Mirage pick, but brought it out. It was incredibly strong. Lots of really good stuff in that scythe play that I don't necessarily think I saw in other scythe players. So I definitely want to give him credit for that. But down in the lower bracket again, Stickia and Daz played so well. The double Bodvar was so strong, and I definitely didn't expect that. But definitely want to give them props. Hermison and Spirit Wolf. Oh yeah, I also want to give them props. Spirit Wolf. I know I was expecting the Asuri. I know he is a very strong Asuri. That was an incredibly good Asuri play. Unfortunately, didn't quite continue on, but he like, for real, Spirit Wolf's Asuri is scary. Goosey and Minnie, I think if you look at how Goosey reacted at the end of some of those matches, he seems upset with how well they placed. But I mean, again, Axo Viper, they made this lower bracket run going all the way from back here. They lost to Addy and Cake. They made the lower bracket run. This is something that is consistent with Viper and apparently A-named 2v2 partners, is that you knock them down, they just swing so much harder in the lower bracket. Very interesting thing to note is the characters. Boomy and Remy, no surprise to see them on the double Hattori. Addy Mystic played a lot of Jala, which is something that I was not expecting. And then Cake, rather than bring out the Bryn, he was on the Ragnar, which I guess isn't the oddest decision in the world. It still has the axe. He definitely has guitars coming over from the Queen Nai. And I'm pretty sure he's played Ragnar in the past, so it wasn't overly surprising. It was definitely a bit of a shock to see Addy Mystic on the Jala, and I was a little bit relieved when I saw him back to the Val. That seems to be the comfort pick. But I guess he decided to bring out the Jala for this tournament. It was a very Jala-centric 2v2 tournament. A lot of the EU players brought out the Jala. Daiku, again, he had the Jala. When we saw him play with Boomy, he had the Hattori. Looks like with Dobrain, he was going to be on the Jala. And then Dobrain also played alongside him with the Axe kit. So we saw quite a bit of Axe in the 2v2s. Noel, no surprise to see him on the Asuri. Egg Soup was on the Mirage. I had no idea he had the Mirage, but he definitely played it incredibly well. And then we'll kind of skip over here. But again, I talked about Animista and Cake. Stickia and Daz had the double Bodvar, very NA style play. But it worked really well for them. And I definitely want to see more of them tomorrow. Very excited to see how well they do. Agzo and Viper. Viper didn't play Blasters, and that's probably one of the second to Animestic not playing Val. Viper not on Blasters definitely caught me off guard. But I do expect him to swap over to the Blasters going into tomorrow. Might be a little bit like how Dr. Phazon plays the Val, but then he sometimes brings out the Lucian. I know he played, Lucian in the 1v1s throughout all of DreamHack Summer, basically. So we might see something similar. If I think Viper busts out Blasters, it's going to be on the Lucian. I don't think he'll go for the Barasa, which would be the Axe carryover from the Ragnar. But he definitely has a very strong Axe. So interested to see what he decides to bust out tomorrow. Agzo, he and Daiku are kind of the only two I would expect to stick with the Jala pick. I think almost everyone else brought the Jala out for the 2v2s, but when it comes to 1v1s, Agzo, I don't think he has other characters. I mean, not to say that he is bad, but what I mean by that is he basically only mains the Jala pick, and so it's going to be cool to see him try to go far with it. Agzo played out of his mind. This is like the best I've ever seen Agzo, so I'm very excited to see how well he'll do tomorrow. I think Agzo and Viper have a very strong chance of going incredibly far, going into the ones. But again, it is worth noting that this was a very interesting 2v2 setup as far as character picks go, and I don't think a lot of those characters will transfer into the 1v1s. I think we'll see a kind of a drop off in the Jalas. Might see the Ragnar stick. I do want to point out M for Mini, he played the Olgrim, which is a very odd pick in terms of the current meta. Not to say that M for Mini wouldn't play the Olgrim. M for Mini blew up on the scene with the Olgrim, so it wasn't like, why is he doing this? It was just kind of odd in the current state of the meta because Lance got a pretty big hit with the sideline into the recovery nerf not being as easy or true. So I almost would have expected him to just go on over to the Ragnar, do the double Ragnar with Goosey, and just have success with that, especially with the fact that a lot of people are saying Katars are a very strong weapon. If you look at the Boomy tier list, Katars are up there. But M for Mini played what he was comfortable with. I don't want to fault him for that, but it was just definitely an odd pick that I would not have expected. But that leads us into the 1v1s. Boomy and Remy, again, congratulations. Not surprised to see them win 2v2s at all. Definitely want to give props to Exo and Viper, and I'm proud of Dobrain and Daiku. They got the third place. I definitely, a personal fanboy moment. I would have wanted them to get first place, of course, but they played incredibly well. They beat Addy and Cake, which is definitely something that I don't think a lot of people would have expected in that specific set. But we're going to go on into the 1v1s, starting off. Where's Pool A? Is there no Pool A? Okay, that's Alphabet. How does it work? Okay, so this is going to be all-round Robins. Dobrain, Spirit Wolf, and Daz, definitely the big three. Let me, hold on 1 second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 are going to make it out of each of these into the top 16. 1 on the uppers, 1 on the lowers. Every match, every game is going to matter. That's kind of the beauty of round robin is say Dobrain and Spirit Wolf both go 3-2. If Dobrain wins more games and loses less than Spirit Wolf, then that means Dobrain is going to be coming out the higher seed out of that pool. So definitely every match is going to matter. Every single round is going to count. So it's going to be important to see how these matches play out. And it's going to come down to these three and who beats who. Judging from how 2s went, I think Dobrain and Daz are going to be the favorites, but I think Spirit Wolf is really going to shine in the 1v1. Spirit Wolf's Asuri, his Qatar Gimps, his Qatar off-stage play, on-stage, dare loops, all of that was incredibly strong. And I think when there isn't someone else to help kind of back up the opponent, then you might see Spirit Wolf have a little bit more success. I'm interested to see how well Dobrain does. In the past, he's kind of faltered a little bit, but I'm definitely rooting for him. I definitely expect him to be one of the favorites to come out of this pool. But Daz, you can't sleep on Daz with the Bodvar. But I would say coming out of the pool, Dobrain's going to be top seed and Spirit Wolf is bottom. That's my gut pick, but it really could go either way. Out of this pool, definitely Animestic is the favorite. Interesting to note, Machete and Laser Spinola are in here, so only one of that team can come out, and I think the favorite will be Laser Spinola, so likely will be Animestic and Laser Spinola coming out top and bottom. Wait, so does that mean Dobrain is higher seed? How is this? They might not be seeded yet. Might see the seeds change a little bit, because I think people are still checking in going into tomorrow. I think it starts at 12 CEST, so maybe in the morning once the venue opens up, people will still have time to check in. But most of the big boys are checked in. Might just get moved around a little bit. Definite favorites, Noel and Hermison, no doubt about it. Cassio, strong third. But I think Hermison played incredibly well today. Noel, I mean, he won Dreamhack Summer. He's a strong 1v1 player. Definitely don't see him as successful in twos, unfortunately. But cannot discount him. He is very much the favorite of this pool. Going down over here, Boomy, easily the favorite. Goosey, strong second. I think Mary played pretty well today, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously with a Bop clan tag, Bop is a relatively well-known clan. I think M for Mini is in it and Goosey. So can't really sleep on Mary, but Boomy and Goosey, definitely the top favorite. The two favorites. Boomy's going to come out top seed of that pool. Goosey's second. Over here, you've got Remy, easily going to be the favorite alongside Viper. I think Viper is looking stronger. Viper is my pick to go out of this pool in the top seed. Remy will be the strong second, but Zapapi, he's got a chance to make a strong third place. Zapapi played well. I believe it was alongside Cassio today. So definitely don't want to sleep on Zapapi, but the favorites are going to be Viper and then Remy in that order. Over here, Agzo played out of his mind. Agzo's my favorite for this pool, and for many going to be a strong second. Chugum's there. I don't remember how well he played today. He didn't make top 12, unfortunately, so I can't really say much more about that. But I do think Agzo is playing really well this weekend, and I would give it to him. I think he's going to come out first to that pool. Over here, we've got Cake and Egg Soup and Minian. I think Cake is definitely the favorite. If you look at power rankings, Cake's a favorite. If you look at the previous few tournaments, Cake's a favorite, mostly because Egg Soup hasn't really played a lot lately. So Egg's kind of the dark horse. Honestly, it could go either direction. Egg Soup could come out first. He could come out third behind Minian. It just depends on how Egg Soup wakes up that day. And unfortunately, that is just kind of the way Egg Soup is. He's a relatively volatile player, not in terms of emotion, but in terms of placements. And then down to the last pool, Daiku, Stickia, easily the top two favorites. Daiku, I think we're gonna see 2018 Daiku. I think we're gonna see the new Daiku, the slower Daiku, the very, very safe Daiku. I'm interested to see if he decides to stick with the Jala. I think of all the players who played Jala today, Agzo is very much the favorite to stick with Jala. I think Daiko would be another player who might stick with it, but we've also seen him practicing the Hattori. He's been saying he's getting ready to move to North America. If he's moving to North America, it's a little bit more Hattori favored, so maybe he'll start to do that to warm up for his move. Who knows? But I think it's going to be between those characters. I doubt we'll see the Daiku Bodvar of old unless he's really on the back foot. But even then, I think he'll just go to the Jala and play it slow. I'd say Daiku's the favorite. Might be a little bit of my own personal bias because I've said time and time again, I'm a Daiku fanboy. And then Stickia, I think, is a strong second. So that would put Daiku, Stickia. Oh, gosh, there's not a convenient way to do this, is there? All right, we're going to pull up top 16. Daiku, Stickia, I said Cake, Egg Soup, Agzo, M for Mini here, Viper, Remy, Boomy, Goosey, I would think is who I said here. And then we've got Hermison and Noel. I think were my picks out of this one. Adomestic and I think Laser were my favorites out of this. And then Dobrain and Spirit Wolf were my two picks out of this. Although it looks like, is it? No, you want a lower number. Yeah, okay. Definitely. Spirit Wolf's got a better rating than Dobrain. Interesting. Maybe Spirit Wolf will come out top seed of that. But I don't think I can. Yeah, okay. I can't really look at the top 16 kind of breakdown, can I? Nope. Well, those would be my picks to go into the top 16. From there, I think Boomy and Noel are the two NA favorites to come out in the upper side of bracket. Other than that, the other half of NA is going to be in the lower bracket. That's Egg Soup and Remy from my predictions. And I'm sticking by what I said, which is that I think there is a very real possibility that at least one of Boomy and or Noel make it to the top 3. Looking at how looking at how people have been playing this weekend, though, I think Viper has a really strong chance to make 2nd or 3rd. I don't know if he can beat Boomy or Remy in a 1v, or Boomy or Noel in a 1v1. It'll be interesting to see that once we get into the top 16 of things, because I don't think Viper is in a pool with any NA players, is he? No, yeah, he's in a pool with Remy. So I think Viper knocking Remy down into lower bracket would be enough to fire up Boomy for that kind of revenge matchup. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back into full screen because there's no reason to see the tabs. But I think that'll be an interesting storyline that people will try to push. But I just want to say that Viper's looking incredibly strong. Agzo looking really strong. I gotta say though, overall today, the big thing that I noticed coming out of Viper is that he definitely watched the tapes. He definitely watched the replays, the VODs of previous tournaments to say, what are some of the NA habits? Because he plays EU, so he knows EU habits. But he definitely watched and picked up some of the NA habits, recognized that Boomy really likes to go for that gravity cancel side signature. He was ready and waiting to punish it. He recognized that Noel likes to go for that deep gravity cancel neutral signature. He waited it out, punished it with the axe recovery. I got to say, Viper is looking incredibly strong. He's really showing that he is in it to win it, and he is kind of the dark horse favorite. He's my favorite of the EU right now to win it. Not to discount Adimestic. You can never discount Adimestic. He has gotten high placements time and time again. There's a reason he is the current top power ranking player. So you cannot sleep on Adimestic. But I think the way Viper's been playing this weekend is out of his mind. This is the best Viper's been playing this weekend. This is the best Agzo's been playing this weekend. They're easily favorites to make top 6 at the very least. I think Adimestic definitely going to make top 6. There's no doubt in my mind that he'll make top 6. But right now, Viper's my favorite of the EU players. I just don't know if he can take down Boomy and or Noel. But we'll see. 1v1 starts in a couple of hours out over at twitch.tv/Brawlhalla. Very excited to see how well that happens. I'll definitely be up early to watch the pools and everything, all of the round robins. It's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a fun day filled with a lot of exciting Brawlhalla action. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed my pseudo insights, or at least my general thoughts and opinions on the tournament scene, and have a wonderful rest of your days. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Bye.